While we're talking about while we're on the subject of overtime.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, you hear about Donald Trump's new overtime new overtime
No.
theory, I guess he'll call it. I'm not even sure what he's looking at doing with it, because he's talking about possibly ending all taxes on overtime.
Yeah.
Pretty much it says Trump says he would push to end taxes on overtime pay. On Thursday, Trump said he would push for legislation that would end tax on overtime pay if he wins a second term. Today, I'm announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. Trump said as a campaign rally in Tucson, Arizona. That people get that gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives companies a lot. It gives companies a lot. It's a lot easier to get people. Trump said in his first rally since the debate with Vice President Kamala Harris earlier this week. They say his pitch came in the battleground state of Arizona, where Harris' ascendance on the ticket has put the state, which President Joe Biden won by just 10,000 votes, back in play for Democrats this year. The former president previously announced he would push to end taxes on tips and proposed that seniors should not pay taxes on Social Security benefits. These are some pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is
it's
nice
crazy though.
Hail Mary.
Man, check this out. Barack Obama tried to do this during his administration. He was like, let's get, He was like, let's get rid of the taxes on overtime. And you know who blocked it? The Republicans. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Donald Trump is saying whatever he needs to say to get out of jail, and to stay out of jail. I mean, bro, like, they're like, hey, we're going to give you a chance. Like, if you don't, think about it. If he doesn't win, it's all bad for him. And so right now he's doubling down, like, on everything. He's like, yeah, I'll say whatever I need to say to be free. And then in the meantime, also on the backside, he's just becoming more kind of like out there with his speaking. And it's crazy. I watched this video last night, and they showed him talking about the border in a speech during the debate in 2016. Then they showed him talking about the border now in the one he just had with Kamala, and they showed his cognitive decline and how he can't stay on topic. And so they showed the video of, like, where he talked about the border, and he was like, yeah, first of all, we're going to stop the migrants from coming over. We're going to build a wall. And then he laid out this whole plan. I mean, at the time, for Donald Trump, it was a beautiful plan. Then they play the one Kamala where he's talking about the border. Then he goes to talking about the Haitians eating cats. Then he starts talking about Kamala and it's like he was just all over the place. And I was like, damn. It showed his cognitive decline. I was like, dang, he can't stay on topic. He just kept jumping and jumping and jumping. And that's why he sounded all weird, but we're so used to it because he just keeps talking. But
if you really kind of look at it, bro, I don't mean to cut you.
Yeah, you're good.
If you really kind of look at it, bro, since 2008, we've had some pretty strange presidencies. If you really look at it, it's kind of it's crazy because it started with a person of color. You know what I mean?
Well, they went wild with Brock, because to them, to a lot of people, they felt their nation was over. Like, how you gonna let the slaves run the asylum? That's all that was. You know what I'm saying? People were like,
they went so far right.
Yeah, you have
Trump.
to.
They went all the way to the other end of the spectrum with Trump, because it was like that's how they felt.
Yeah,
they took us all the way here with this guy.
That's why he said, "Make America great again." Because for him, he was like, "Yo, we don't like this." They didn't remember they all the Republicans got into a meeting when Barack Obama got elected, and they got into a secret meeting and said, we're going to make sure he's a one-term president, because people were wilding in the streets. They were like, what about our way of life? What about how we're going to live? Because they were scared. You know what I'm saying? If you're allowed to oppress a whole community of everyone that comes into America, and then you feel that power getting ripped away from you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you fear that. So yeah, of course they're going to go far right. They're like, we don't want none of this. None of this. Like,
this is crazy. I wonder if he's. I mean, how do you feel about him getting, if he could actually get rid of overtime on? Taxes on overtime.
That'd be fantastic. I mean, they shouldn't be taxing overtime anyways. Americans got to work extra long hours now. That'd be a great policy to have. You know, so one time I remember I was working when I was at my last job. I'm working, right, and I get a raise, but I'm at the bottom of the middle class tax bracket. So, I'm getting paid like $34 an hour. So I'm like, cool, man. You know what I'm saying? So I worked about 12 overtime hours each week. I got my check. And what they did, the tax was so thick on it that the tax cleared out all my overtime, and it just didn't tax my regular hours. I made more money working less. I looked at my check and I said, where's my money? And they were like, no, you're in a new tax bracket. You're just in the bottom of the middle class. And I was like, damn. And I saw how they're doing the middle class. It was cold, bro. Like, after that, I didn't even work. I would never work overtime. I was like, I'm
He
cool.
said,
I was like, I make more money not working overtime because the tax was so much.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
they got
nuts. I
me.
mean,
They got me good.
yeah, that's
Fuck
pretty
that
crazy.
job.
I'd have to feel the same way too.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on one second.